Hi, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Tanya Fleischer. I'm 45 years old and I live in Johannesburg, Gauteng in South Africa. I'd like to make it very clear up front that in this channel, as well as the book that's being written about me called Victim to Victor, I am not looking for any sympathy in any way or form. In fact, I find it quite an honor to have lived the life that I have lived. It's enabled me to be able to empathize, not sympathize, empathize with so many people on so many different levels. I'd also like to make it very clear that I don't claim to have all the answers. I don't think any of us have all the answers. In fact, we are all a work in progress. And both the book and this channel is about letting people know that you come to God as you are. And He will make you whole. There are also things, like I said, I don't know the answers. I'm simply sharing my journey. I hope some of the stuff, I think some of the stuff will probably be, some people may find offensive. And if you know me and my heart, that is definitely not my intention. But I need to be obedient to what I believe God is sharing with me and what I need to share with you. Just quickly to clarify some things about that first post in the letter that I wrote to Joyce Meyers back in 2015. At that time, there were times of joy, and there were times that I really literally felt like I was on a cliff, hanging with my nails at the edge of a cliff, bleeding. I had no confidence. My confidence was absolutely shattered. I couldn't, in fact, leave the house without drinking. I would go straight to the bottle store and I would drink. At that stage, I was going to Helen Joseph Hospital, which is a government hospital here in Johannesburg. And I'd be going there sometimes 3 times a week. Rheumatology. As you can see, I have rheumatoid arthritis, and rheumatoid is an autoimmune illness that attacks the organs in your body. Up until very recently, I did not realize it is actually something that could kill you. I simply thought it was just sore bones, and yes, it could attack other organs. I just didn't realize the extent of the organs it could attack. And at that time, I was going through to Helen Joseph 3 times a week to see the rheumatologist, the ophthalmologist, because they had discovered that I had something called PUC, which stands for peripheral ulcerative keratitis. In a nutshell, what it means is the rheumatoid was attacking my eyes and literally melting my cornea. The first time it happened was, I think, in 2014. I went to the doctors, to the hospital with my wine in my bag, because, Steve and I were in a separation and it was very difficult. I could barely breathe. It was a very, very difficult time in all my family's life. And, I don't suppose, sorry. Sorry, there's nothing you can do about yesterday. There's only what you can do today and going forward. But yes, I was going there, and the first time I went there to the ophthalmology department, they looked at my eyes at the end of the day. I mean, they only saw me late in the day. By that time, I'd finished most of my wine. But they looked at my eyes and they said to me, you have this, and you're more than likely going to be blind by Monday. This was on a Thursday. Please note that I've made it clear I was drinking. I was abusing substances. I was barely breathing, able to live. My muscles would clench so badly, I would have to tell myself to relax. I was in a permanent place of stress. And I believed all along my entire journey, from the age of 14, I have believed that by the stripes of Jesus we are healed. So I did send out prayer requests. I wasn't seeing many people at the time because of my addiction to alcohol at that stage, and I was embarrassed. I didn't want people to know about it. So I was kind of, keeping to myself, and it was tough. And what happened was, get back to the point, Tanya. The point is, they told me on the Thursday I'd be blind by the Monday. I spent most of that weekend alone, just crying, just in desperation, putting drops in my eyes every 2 hours. I had to be back at the hospital by the Monday. When I got back to the hospital, they had more than, I think it was 3 specialists check it out because they couldn't understand what had happened. Because, it was a miracle. I was supposed to be blind, yet my cornea was healing. So anyway, I had to go for regular checkups and go back on treatment, which I'd stopped taking because treatment for rheumatoid is the various forms, but the one form is, it's a form of chemotherapy, which does not, it doesn't stop, doesn't cure the illness. It just simply slows it down. And so I was taking this chemo treatment. Also, actually, then they started me on intravenous chemo, and I was on intravenous chemo 3 times. I had to be on that for 3 months. At the time of the chemo, I was drinking as well. So I'd go for chemo and just keep drinking. But by that stage, Steve and I got back together, and things in our relationship were very difficult. But like I said, today they are flipping awesome, and I have the most amazing husband in the world. But back to the point, Tanya. Yes, miracles have happened, and in fact, I have doctors that can prove the miracles that have happened in my life, from an ophthalmologist and an optometrist, where my eyesight radically improved, and they couldn't understand how my eyesight could improve, to then going through more stress, my eyesight then getting worse, and up until, a little while ago, what I did really, most of my time was spent in bed. I mean, the beginning of this year, or end of last year, I ended up in hospital. I had fallen off my horse, and I didn't go to the doctor because I'm so used to pain, and just any pain I have, I affiliate it with rheumatoid arthritis. So I went, I told my husband it wasn't necessary to go to hospital, simply rheumatoid. And eventually he said, no, that's enough now, you're going. So I went to hospital to find out that I had cracked my spine on a previous fracture that I'd had in 1997, where I'd fractured my T12, a crush fracture to my T12 in a car accident. It actually made headlines in the newspaper. But, I don't have those pictures at the moment, but I'll put it on my Instagram page. Where was I? This channel, basically, what it's about is sharing my journey. I make it I'd like to make it very clear, that the book, Victim to Victor, that is being written up until where this YouTube channel starts, is not about naming and shaming in any way or form. In a lot of instances, names have been changed. It's not about naming and shaming. In fact, the sexual abuse I suffered by the age of 15 by 7 different people, their names won't be mentioned because I don't think it's about them. It's about my journey and what I experienced and what that led to, as a result of that, turning into a wild teenager, very promiscuous. Then at a young age heading towards I think I got drunk for the first time when I was 14, and then it started with weed, and then only years later I went on to other stronger drugs. And the book kind of covers my journey. And see, my light's going on. They're busy working on our power. We've just bought property, and God is so amazing and so faithful. Yes, where was I? Okay, so I cracked my spine early in the year, horse riding, ended up in a hospital. Then in June, I woke up one morning and my back was sore. I couldn't understand it, just thought, okay, it's arthritis. I went to the stables and I rode my horse, and the pain was quite bad. Got off the horse, I came home, made my daughter and I a sandwich, or she may have made us a sandwich. I'm not sure which way it worked. But basically what happened was I stood up from having lunch and I couldn't stand. I couldn't stand straight at all. So for the weekend, I was walking around with my hands on my knees to walk, bending over, obviously, with my hands on my knees. And eventually, by Sunday, my husband said, "This is ridiculous. You're going to the hospital." We went to the hospital after several injections into the spine. Not too pleasant, not too bad though. I think I've got used to a lot of pain. They inject cortisone into your spine to try to relieve the pain or the problem. This, however, didn't work, and I was sent home with morphine to await back surgery. I had the back surgery in June, and they did a laminectomy, a discectomy, and a fusion. Now you can go and Google that: laminectomy, discectomy, and fusion. So as a result of that surgery, I ended up where I had to lie flat on my back, or I either had to lie flat on my back for 8 weeks, or I could walk, preferably not stand. So that's when I discovered YouTube and people like Carney, and of course I love Simon Cowell, and I love actually Howie, and all the judges. I'm crazy about them. By the way, I'm very impressed with the awesome change in Simon from his younger days to the days where he is now, and he just seems so full of love, and love to hear what's happened. But something good's happened over there. So anyhow, I spent a lot of time on YouTube. I mean, even my meals had to be I'd eat lying down. It was tough. Lonely. Alone at home, my daughter at college. I had my dogs. Of course I had my dogs, and you'll meet my dogs at a later stage. But it was tough. Very tough. With nothing to do other than sit on YouTube. But in doing that, I got to meet Carney, and she was just so approachable, and just I could relate to her on so many levels. And yes, I did do some YouTube courses, and but more has happened since then. In fact, a little while ago in September, October, I ended up having emergency heart surgery. My aorta, I'll probably post a video on what was actually happening. I didn't realize the extent of it, because when I was in hospital, all I wanted to do was go for a smoke. That's all I remember. Giving the nurses a very hard time because I wanted to go and smoke. The hospital called my husband at 11:30 at night to let him know that he mustn't worry, but I would be going into surgery the next day, and the surgery would take probably an hour and a half. The surgery, in fact, turned out to take 3.5 hours, and I've received something from the medical aid about a section 21 where they used a form of adrenaline which has not yet been approved in South Africa to keep my heart going. I still have to make appointments with these doctors to find out exactly what did happen on that operating table. But leading up to that, I had the most amazing spiritual experience I think I've ever had in my entire life. There is a spiritual realm, definitely. And what happened in the week leading up to that was, yes, I was touching heaven and earth. Heaven and earth. I was delivered from so many things. I mean, my family thought I was insane. Well, anyone would have thought I was insane. In fact, I was first taken to a psychiatric hospital, and they then sent me to a normal hospital, and it was through doing a CAT scan and an MRI that they picked up. They were checking to see if I had a stroke. And it was through that they picked up that my aorta was, in fact, had an ulcer, but it was like so severe it was ready to split, which means I would have bled to death instantly. And yeah, once again, I love to tell the tale. So basically what this YouTube channel is about is I'm going to share some snippets of the book where some amazing miracles happened. I've witnessed many miracles in my own life, experienced many miracles. It's been one heck of a journey, and I'm very excited about sharing it with you. I'm going to actually post another video of a guy called Jonathan that I saw on the streets, because I thought, maybe, what I'm going to do is help drug addicts, and I'm going to I'm going to go and see them on the streets, and then I'm going to help them after that. And I went and saw the church that I've joined now, and they said, look, you really need to pray about it. So anyhow, I interviewed this guy, Jonathan, and one of his other friends, and I had met him on a previous occasion, in fact, and I had said to him, come jump in the car, and I asked him if he would object to me videoing him on YouTube. At this stage, I was clueless as to how my iPad worked or anything, and I'm still a bit clueless, but I think I'm getting there. But I did this interview with him. The first time I met him, I went with him and actually gave him my bank card and said to him, go and get yourself something in the shop. And he said to me, nee, Tanya, ek kan nie dit doen nie. Heck of a nice guy. And I said, no, I'm trusting you, and I'm showing you that I trust you, and I understand. And so he went inside and he bought himself some cornflakes, some milk, and a slab of chocolate for him and his friend to share. And it was just beautiful. And what a beautiful soul. And I did a video of him. And that was just before I went to Port Alfred, which was meant to be a 10th wedding anniversary getaway, which turned into another amazing spiritual encounter where I experienced time standing still. I have experienced meeting angels. I have experienced what heaven is going to look like. Heaven on earth is going to look like. There's so much that I could share, but I'm going to put that video of Jonathan on a little bit for you to have a look, and I'm going to put some other videos on that. After I received the revelation of where the book ended, that it would be starting with this channel, I suddenly came alive and started doing things. I got out of bed and I just had life in me. And well, I'll share that story with you later. But I came back from Port Alfred to find that Jonathan had in fact been found without me even posting it on YouTube, and that he was in a rehab. But yes, at this stage, I just want to share with you, there's that scripture that says, let me just have a look here. It says, count it pure joy when you face trials. Yeah, it's James 1:2-4. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work, so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. Those of you out there going through trials and tribulations, I know it's not easy, but you know what? Hang in there. God is faithful. He'll never leave you or forsake you. Cheers.